Coming up on the Uplift, get ready to smile. We have a look at the cutest puppy contest. Then, what you may see as trash, one man sees as a way to help. Why plastic bags are the key to his act of kindness. And taking you on the road. See the road trip that taught one couple all about humanity and the power of good. Welcome to the Uplift. In this digital series, we're going to share some of our favorite stories we hope will put a smile on your face. It's our goal to lift your spirits for at least the next 30 minutes and hopefully for a lot longer. I'm Susan Elizabeth Littlefield. Thank you so much for being with us. It doesn't get much cuter than this next story. A local dog derby used the power of puppies to raise money for the Lake Minnetonka Klondike Dog Derby in Excelsior. Well, organizers say that more than 2,000 people came out to the cutest puppy contest. 50 dogs entered the contest to be a prize-winning pup. Voters dropped tickets in a jar to make their pick. And then there definitely was some tough competition there. We caught up with two of the contestants who looked a little tired from all the action.
Are these two puppies competing against each other? Is that what's happening here? So,
37.
oh, okay, 37. And what are their names?
Marvin Gaye and Aretha Franklin.
We're told thousands of dollars were raised at the event. Any funds left over will go to charity. Some patients at Children's Minnesota had their designs on display for all to see. Ice carvers at the 137th St. Paul Winter Carnival transformed their drawings into stellar ice sculptures. 5 young artists had their work brought to life in Rice Park. The carvers say it's about giving the patients a voice and a chance to tell their stories.
It's been pretty dreamy and we don't mind a little bit of snow. We'll take this over 40 degrees any day. Yeah, we're pretty happy about it. We're happy to be here and happy to be back in Rice Park. We've been kind of all over St. Paul and fairgrounds, and they're all fun to be at, but Rice Park is kind of where our hearts are at. So we're very happy to be back here.
The drawings selected this year were from patients at Children's Minnesota's Healing Arts Therapy program. One Minnesota man is making good use of all the extra plastic bags that we all have lying around. He's putting in the work to make sleeping mats that help people who are unhoused. WCCO's David Schumann traveled to St. James to meet the man who is making a big difference.
First, some music.
Country.
Now Travis Smith is ready to get to work.
I make homeless mats for homeless people.
What ultimately will become a tightly woven, lightweight, soft mat starts out as this, a pile of plastic bags.
All these will go into this mat.
Each mat is made of 900 bags, gathered from stores and friends and family all over Minnesota.
I don't think we'll ever run out of bags.
Travis's mother, Marge, gets the ball rolling at their St. James home by cutting the bags into strips and tying them together. Then Travis takes over on the homemade loom. He's working on his 55th mat.
He finished one yesterday. He starts another one today. He doesn't break. I mean, it's just, he keeps going.
All the mats are donated. Travis gives them to Catholic charities, which then distributes them to people who are unhoused.
It makes me feel good inside because I'm doing something for somebody else.
Travis is developmentally disabled, and Marge says the mats have given him a reason to get up in the morning.
He was lost without something to do. And this has filled the void. Yeah, there's a lot of work to it. But it doesn't seem like work. We're having fun.
We asked Travis how long he plans to do this.
Oh, and I get sick of it, probably.
And he's happy. He's happy.
In St. James, David Schumann, WCCO 4 News.
Many of us have felt the heaviness of the past few years, from a global pandemic to a murder in Minneapolis that led to calls for justice around the world. It was enough for one Minnesota couple to take action the only way they knew how. They sold their home and hit the road. Here's a look at their journey and what they learned. The headlines have been heartbreaking, from the stunning shutdown of a country to an earth on fire, to a Minnesota man murdered in front of our eyes. Many have felt sad, frustrated, and curious as to how we got where we are.
I was interested in learning how we could use photography and storytelling to bridge divides in an increasingly divided world.
John Noltner is Minnesota-based, but he's roamed the world, snapping images for national magazines. He decided to take a break from his career to better understand his country.
This is a project I started in Minnesota. It eventually led us on a road trip across the United States, gathering stories.
John and his wife sold their home to chase headlines and chase a deeper understanding of humanity. They started in George Floyd Square, listening as Minnesotans poured out their perspectives and their pain.
Simply asked people from the community, what do you want to say? And we took their portrait and we took their response in 25 words or less. And it was an exercise in listening. It was an exercise in just saying to the community, I see you, I hear you, and you matter.
They headed south to Charleston, to the Mother Emanuel Church, a place where young white supremacists killed 9 church members enjoying a Bible study. A surviving church member invited John inside the sanctuary.
I asked him, I said, Lee, how is it that a man who looks like you can come to trust a guy who looks like me after that trust has been violated in such a horrific way? And he said to me, he said, well, that's easy, John. He said, this is not our house. He said, this is the Lord's house, and we're here to trust and to love and to serve everybody who walks through that door. And he said, we can't let the bad acts of one person change who it is that we are. And I thought to myself, that response was filled with so much grace.
The more they listened, the more they realized they needed to hear.
We didn't know the entire route when we set out. Some of this was led by curiosity. Some of it was led by opportunity. If a door would open, we would go walk through that door and see what would happen. We went down to the border to talk to people about immigration. We went to Mississippi to talk about moving Confederate monuments. We went to the Colorado River watershed to talk about drought and environmental concerns. We've been in Minnesota and Wisconsin talking about indigenous sovereignty and environmental concerns. We've been on Skid Row in Los Angeles and working up the West Coast talking about housing security. And so everywhere we went in the country, we kept looking for people who believed that something better was possible and said, you know what, I think there's something we can do to fix this. And I think they're right. We literally spent 800 days on the road. We drove 93,000 miles across the country. If we can get comfortable in uncomfortable moments, you know, sitting with that discomfort, I think it offers us the opportunity to bridge some of those divides and build some of those connections.
A Minnesota woman is on a mission to change the world, one cake at a time. Coming up, see how she's baking her way into all of our hearts.